Felicity Lawrence For, a fairer share of our resources. Turn to the 13th century. The 8th of November states that the 1217 Charter of the Forest asserted the rights of ordinary people to access from the commons the means for a livelihood and shelter. It thus represented an early constitutional victory for ordinary people over a wealthy elite. Alas, this view needs considerable qualification. The key concessions in the Charter were granted to free men, and thus deliberately excluded the unfree, who formed a large proportion of the population. Far from being a victory of the ordinary people over a wealthy elite, the Charter was, in some ways, exactly the reverse. David Carpenter, London. Yes, the 1217 Charter of the Forest opened forests to use of non-aristocrats. No, this wasn't wildly emancipatory. The point is, even 13th century aristocrats couldn't go hunting every day. So in some way, forests were just useless, sumptuary property. The opening of forest land allowed lords to make it profitable. Those rights to open peasant use cost money. Peasants using forests had to pay to let their pigs root panager to gather loose wood or cut trees. In addition, they had to submit to various other restrictions, e.g. lambing their dogs so they couldn't chase the lord's deer. These free rights were enforced by lords' officials, and there were quite a lot of them, and who could force neighbouring peasants they were policing to give them free room and board while they looked for the same peasants' violations, so that they might be fined. Just think of how many people are named Foster, Forester, etc., the name of this office. Such behaviour at times produced rural riots, as in Cheshire in the 1350s. I appreciate the desire to find something emancipatory in the Middle Ages. But this one ain't it. Ralph Hanna. Coventry. Patrick Barkham's view that new trees aren't all good. Commercial blocks of cypress spruce aren't socially useful, scenic or wildlife-friendly. Notebook. The 6th of November suggests that it has been a while since he visited and appreciated a modern, productive forest such as Kielder, the largest cypress spruce forest in England. Kielder Forest is managed by the Forestry Commission, and since it was planted last century, much of the forest has changed. It has evolved from regimented stands of trees into a complex, rich and diverse forest. It has stands of cypress spruce and other conifers fringed with rowan and birch, watercourses flanked with alder, aspen and sallow, and myres and bogs largely restored in a forest setting reminiscent of Scandinavia. Kielder Forest has a very rich diversity of birds, particularly birds of prey, including goshawks, hen harriers and ospreys, as well as a rich array of plants, insects and other wildlife. These include the iconic, native red squirrel, the water vole, and the pearl-bordered fritillaries. It has large heath butterflies on its myres and rare mosses, with ferns and flowering plants throughout the forest. Socially, Kielder Water and Forest Park welcomes hundreds of thousands of visitors every year to enjoy great adventures on the hundreds of kilometers of walking and mountain bike trails. It has the third largest dark skies designation on the planet and is home to the Kielder Observatory, which hosts tens of thousands of visits every year. The forest additionally provides wider social and economic services such as clean air and water, mitigating climate change, storing carbon in its soils, and of course alleviating down flooding. All, in various ways, socially useful, extremely scenic, and without doubt wildlife-friendly. In delivering all this, Kielder also, of course, continues to fulfill its role as a key source of timber for various industries, significantly supporting the rural economy, and will no doubt play a key role in the establishment of the emerging low-carbon economy. Beauty, of course, is in the eye of the beholder, and it would be great to have the opportunity to show Patrick a different perspective of Kielder Forest and modern forestry. Kevin May, Forest Management Director, North England Forest District, Forestry Commission. Join the debate. Email guardian.letters@theguardian.com. Read more Guardian letters. Click here to visit goo.com letters.